Alright, what is up y'all? Profitz here. Wanted to make this quick video on sort of my outlook for the week in the Forex market. So last week, pretty slow week to be honest with you. Not a lot was really happening. Not a lot of big moves were happening. There was some moves on Friday. Finally got some movement Thursday and Friday, but for the most part last week was kind of chill. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys caught any really good moves. There might have been some moves on indices. I didn't follow indices a ton, but I'm pretty sure they've been fairly stagnant and like NASDAQ and gold. So not a ton of moves to find there unless you're scalping. But myself, you guys know that I'm a swing trader, so I'm not really looking at like the 5-minute or 15-minute time frame a ton. Every once in a while, I'll take some trades on that time frame, the lower time frames, if it coordinates with my strategy, but usually not too much. So, wanted to make a quick outlook of what I think might happen this week, or what I'm kind of looking for, I guess I should say. And we're going to start off with kind of the main pairs that I look at, right? And that'll a lot of you guys probably look at as well. So, GU is what we're looking at right now. This is the 4-hour time frame. As you guys can see here, there was a huge just bearish momentum and bearish movement here for a long time. We're talking since October. We had all this bearish movement straight downhill for GU, and then finally it kind of broke out of this trend recently and is now trading above the moving averages, and we are looking to head up. Now these are some markings and drawings up here that I had from the previous weeks. We had a trade here. And then we had one here that I drew this up last week actually, and then I never actually got my entry. But if I would have been able to enter, it hit TP. So I'm going to remove those for now. This was just a little trend line that was indicating this downtrend waiting for a break, which it did break, retest, and then flew up. So it followed that as well. That is something I really like about the higher time frames, the 1 hour and the 4-hour time frame. A lot of times, just simple strategies, the higher time frames will follow pretty well. You just got to be super patient. But anyways, what I'm looking for here on GU, like I said, we had all this bearish momentum, and we're finally moving out of that into some bearish momentum as the dollar is weakening. So what I am looking for, we finally had this break. Let's see, I don't have my tools here. Let me go back out. I am mainly looking for some sort of retest to continue the movement upwards. So we finally broke the bear structure to move bullish, but now we had this huge climb up on, last week, and I'm looking now for some sort of pullback to move back up. Probably, you know what? There is a nice. If you look right here, let me delete some of these zones just so it's not quite as crowded. And if you guys have followed me for very long or know much about my trading journey or my YouTube, then you guys kind of know a little bit of how I trade. But looking here, it looks like we have a decent zone of support / resistance right here. So maybe some sort of pullback into that area. Honestly, one thing you could look for is a pullback into this demand zone right here, and I always draw my demand zones as gray, and then my zones of structure is purple. So there's a demand zone here, and honestly it would work out pretty well if this takes a while, kind of trickles down into this demand zone as well as this new support zone, and this 4-hour 50 moving average comes up. So look for a tap of the 50 moving average as we're moving into this demand zone, and then to take that back up at least to equal highs. I think that could be a solid trade, to be honest with you. And you'd be looking, you could catch around 150 pip trade there, honestly. That I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm actually going to set an alert right around this demand zone in case price does come down to this area. That way I know to look at my phone and check it. So that is for GU, and honestly it's going to be pretty similar for GU, AU, and EU. This is a trade I had drawn up last week. I never got my entry. As you can see, there was a lot of sideways movement here, but finally on Friday it ended up pushing up, Thursday and Friday. So if I could have somehow got an entry there, but my entry model, I just didn't get the entry that I wanted. So I did not end up taking that trade, but it looks like it would have worked out pretty dang well. But like I said, GU, AU, and EU are all going to be fairly similar, right? Of course, they move similar. They're all corresponding with the dollar, which is weakening right now. So they all had huge bearish momentum, and then now sort of breaking out of that into some bullish momentum here. So you could look for on AU. There's really not a ton here. The structure isn't as clean. Honestly, right here, there was a nice break up right here, and then retest with that 4-hour 50 moving average right into this, I call it a demand zone, but you could call it an order block, whichever one you call it. Same thing, really. But there's a nice demand zone there, so that could have been a beautiful trade right there. And that would have been, shoot, you would have caught at least like 75 pips probably. But you could look for some sort of retest here. There is another small demand zone retest into looking for continued buys. But for me, there was so much sideways momentum here, I honestly don't like AU as much anymore. Let's see what EU looked like. EU is very similar to AU. There was this 4-hour order block or demand zone here that it kind of did wick into and then fly, but not really. It didn't even break its highs yet. As you can see, AU did break these highs and broke above, and then same with GU, broke its highs. So EU not looking as good as well, but you could look for some sort of retest around these 200 or 50 moving averages into continuing up for bullish momentum. Now, USD CAD is one that I have been waiting on for a very long time. So as you can see, there's this giant range here in between these two zones here. And as you know, I indicate that in purple. We just had a ping pong in between this range for a long time. We're talking since December, since early December. So for months, it's been ping ponging. It finally broke above and then crashed right back down into this support. Finally, we have a clean break of this support. So this support has bounced so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can maybe say 6, 7, 8. And this is just on the 4-hour time frame. You probably get even more on the lower time frames, like the 1 hour. But we finally have a clean break below. And now you're going to be looking for a clean break below, or not looking for, but it did happen. A clean broke below. Clean break. Gosh, I can't talk right now. Let me look for my tool real quick. My path. A clean break below, like right here. And then for you to retest that structure and then look to go to the downside, because there's going to be a lot of demand zones. A lot of just liquidity down here that has not been touched yet from all these buys. That people are just riding this up. So there's going to be liquidity down here that has not been fulfilled yet. And honestly, right around here would probably be a good chance to TP. But this is something I drew up last week. This little, this short position here. So what I'm looking for, hopefully to happen somewhere between Monday and Wednesday is what I'm hoping for. Is for, now that we got the clean break, is for price to move back up into this this would have been support turned into resistance and then bounce back down. This is what I'm really looking for. I think this is going to be a great trade, a beautiful swing trade, and I have it as like 150 pips. You could honestly probably hold it even longer, around 200 pips. But I'll probably honestly look to take it around right here to this equal low if it does hit there. So that is what I'm really looking for on USD CAD. I think this is probably one of the best setups across all the FX pairs that I watch, especially the main pairs, because this is such a clean break on the higher time frames, and the 4-hour 50 moving average is going to be right there once we're looking to ping pong back down. So I've seen this trade play out 100 times. You're going to win this trade 9 times out of 10, especially if you have your stop loss placed in a good spot. So it could even go a little bit higher on a stop loss, but honestly, right above this little structure here would be fine. And you can look to take it for, you know, a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 even. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and see what we got here. We don't really have any big supply zones or anything like that. There's a tiny one there. I'm not even going to count that though, but still the same thing applies for support to resistance. So we finally have a clean break. And there was a decent move that happened on this on USD CAD from like Thursday to Friday, because it did have the break and then it did retest and then flew back down, but I never got a clean close below on the 4 hour time frame that I was really looking for, and it was still close enough to where it's like this could still bounce back up and just have gone a little bit lower in terms of this support zone. But now we finally have a clean break, a very obvious break, right? All these bounces right here, and then boom, finally breaks all the way through. Now we're looking for the continuation. So pullback, continuation for sells on USD CAD, and that also goes along with the fundamentals of the US dollar losing value right now. So that is what I am mainly looking at for this week. Just wanted to give you guys a little outlook and kind of explain some things. It might have been a little scatterbrained just because I'm going off the dome right now, but that is what I'm looking for. Let's take a look at NAS. Look at this consolidation, man. You can catch moves on this, but for me as a swing trader, this does not look appealing to me at all. It did break and it did break for highs, but you could look for a pullback into a continuation buys on this order block if you really, if you wanted to. I'm not taking any flyers on that or chance on it. Gold is extremely overbought right now, and looking to. There is a lot of liquidity on gold to the downside, but it all depends when it will finally sell. So gold, you need a clean break and retest to continued sells if you're looking for a long-term sell on gold. Do not touch sells right now until you get some sort of break, because it could bounce out and keep going higher right now. US 30, kind of the same thing as NASDAQ. GJ, nothing really on GJ. You could have had a little trade here off the support. I think that's all I'm going to really go over in this video. Don't want to make it too long. Really, the main ones right now I think I'm looking at is going to be USD CAD and GU. For both of them are break and retest for continuation of these trends that they're finally breaking into. GU buys, UCAD sells. That is my outlook for this week. Let me know if you guys caught any good trades this week or this past week, and then let me know if you're looking for anything specific this upcoming week. But you guys trade safe out there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys want any specific type of videos in the future. But I just wanted to make a little outlook video for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.